Let's see. Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic Less Non Classics. This is episode number 2273 and double shot number 2260. Let's see. It says 67. Okay. Now we have basically we have a Hulk Masterworks and a Avengers Masterworks. Now for Hulk, we have Marvel Masterworks, The Incredible Hulk, Volume 13, which collects Incredible Hulk 210 to 212, 222, and the 6th annual. Yep, these are the last issues done by the late Lean Ween. Yeah, he does skip one issue, but mostly he's main writer of these issues, and he does the annual, with Sal Buscema on the artwork. Now Lean Ween, like I mentioned, he does skip one issue. The one issue skips is 221. That is done by Roger Stern. Why he does that one, I have no idea. 222. Now Roger Stern does the co-writing news for 218 and 220. 222. Excuse me. 222. He has Jim Starlin do the co-writing duty for that one. David Allen Croft does the co-writing for the annual. Sal Buscema does pretty much all the issues, the artwork for that one, except for 218. He does not do 218 at all. He doesn't do 222 either. 218 is done by two artists, George Costa and Keith Pollard. Jim Starlin does 222, and the annual is done by Herb Trimple. Yep. Now the book covers the time period of April 1977. It includes in April 1978. We start off with the annual, which you have debut of Paragon, where you have guest appearance here by Doctor Strange. Who is Paragon, I might ask? Paragon is an alien who started as a guy and later became her, Adam Warlock's female counterpart. That's mostly what she is. Yeah, and it's all done by the Enclave. Who is the Enclave, might ask? They're the ones who created Adam Warlock. That is mostly exactly what they're here for. Yep. And then pretty much right after this debut here, after taking her, basically her next appearance is in Marvel 201 number 61, where she becomes her. Doctor Strange had last appeared in Marvel Treasures 13. His next appearance would be in Tomb of Dracula number 44. Yes, because he fights Dracula in the issue. Now, basically from any issues here, we have a guest appearance of Dr. Drood. Yeah, Dr. Drood. He had also appeared in the previous issue as well. As in Shadow, then he appears here in person. And if you're curious, how long is Dr. Drood in this book? That's better. Okay, so now he is in this book. Well, let's see. He's only here for 3 issues and he leaves. Yeah, he came in 209 and leaves with 211 and never returns. From what I can tell, he never returns his book ever again. Because they moved him over to Ghost Rider and then the Avengers. Mostly a lot of guest star spots. Yeah. It's basically Hulk and 210 take on 2 characters. One who's enemy of Thor, and the other is from the pages of Fear. Yeah. In 211, takes on the same people. For at least for 2 issues. And then we have 212, we have debut of the Constrictor. Yes, a character who had just... I just talked about his appearance in Captain America. So, yeah. The Constrictor. The original one. The one who became the longtime boyfriend to... Diamondback, basically it was her second boyfriend after she broke up with Captain America. Yeah, this was his debut. Next appearance being Captain America 220, which I've discussed already. Yes. April Summers. She's here just for the issues in this book here. By 223, she's done. Yeah, she kicks up Bruce Banner out of her apartment building. Basically, Vixen because basically he's the Hulk. Now in 213, we have debut of the Quatonic Man. Yes, who... This is quite weird about this thing. He last appeared back in Civil War II Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, the Katonic Man. Here's the strange thing. After this one issue, his next appearance is not until Nova Volume 3 by Eric Larson. Yes, Eric Larson brings back this guy for one issue, pops up for an issue of Wolverine for Volume 2, 2 issues of Last Defenders, an issue of Indestructible Hulk, fighting Hulk once again, and then, of course, appearing in that Civil War Amazing Spider-Man 2, number 2, and that was it for him. Yeah, he's basically a robot. That's most exactly what he's here for. And 214. With a guest appearance by Jack of Hearts, we get debut of Beast. Yes, a character who would later become a villain for Thor. Beast is here for 3 issues, though it says here he kind of popped up at 169. Though I think he comes back here. Yeah. Now, Jack of Hearts, he had previously appeared. Let's see. He actually had showed up in that in 213 for Incredible Hulk. Why did he appear in the book? Well, it's him making a guest appearance. Yeah, this actually was just two appearances for him. Because after this, he became a recurring character in the pages of Iron Man for like a year before he got dropped over another book. Yep. So yeah, great to see Jack of Hearts here. In 215, basically Hulk takes on Beast. And 216. And that's it for Beast for a while. And then, of course, Hulk has a rematch with the Circus of Crime, who he last met back in Avengers number 1, back in the 60s. Though, they also deal with the Circus of Lost Souls. Yes, there are these weird people who appear in this one issue, and that's it. The Circus of Crime. Of course, they made a first appearance back in Incredible Hulk number 6. Well, they actually was issue 3. But, yeah, I think the last time they fought the Hulk was back in Avengers number 1. When he was being brainwashed. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah. So, at this point in time, basically, like, yeah, they had previously appeared in pages of Supervillain Team Up. But it's nice the fact Lee Ween brought back an old faux group of the Hulk, the Circus of Crime. In 218, we have the return of the Rhino, who last appeared in the issue of Defenders. Yes, the Rhino. You think, wait, the Rhino? Isn't he an enemy of Spider-Man? Why the heck is he appearing in Hulk? Well, for some reason, I have no idea why the heck Marvel thought this is a good idea. Despite the fact Rhino is a notorious Spider-Man villain, for some reason, they made him a recurring villain for Hulk. Oh, by the way, this is the first time he's fought the Hulk since issue 171. And this was, by the way, 9 issues before the debut of Wolverine. Yes. I don't know why. His next appearance would be in, well, not Sabotage number 1. His next appearance would be in, if you're really curious, his next action appearance would be in Spider-Man, Wolverine, Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, Hulk, Captain America number 1. Yeah, it's a promotional thing. That was his next appearance. You can think his next actual appearance is actually in Marvel Team number 102. Of course, it's mostly a Doc Samson issue, who last appeared in, well, 216. In 219, we take on Captain Barracuda, who last appeared in the issue of Submariner. And after this issue, he appears in the very next issue, where he apparently dies, and then he pops up in Fantastic Four, 219. And if you're really curious, though, Captain Barracuda is still alive? Yes, he is. It is weird with this guy. It's like, okay, let's have him debut as a Human Torch villain, fought the Submariner a couple times, fought the Hulk twice, issue of Fantastic Four, pops up in Humans Annual, pops up then after he appears in Vengeance of Moon number 10, A plus X number 8, and finally in Iron Man 2020 number 2. We also have the Hulk fighting Giganto. Is that correct? No. Most of it just find Barracuda. Fights here for a couple issues. Also, the character David Purvis gets killed off in 220. Yeah, he was a very short-lived character. Yep. 221, the only issue not done by, well. And then we have the return of the leader, who appeared in 221. Yeah. So, yeah. Samuel Stearns is back in this issue. Yep. He, of course, prior to these set of issues, well, he also appeared in More Fanfare. And after 225, which, of course, not in this trade here, actually, the Hulk in the annual. Yep. And then, of course, fights him again. Of course, Hulk is sort of depowered. He also maybe gets captured, but I really enjoy these issues. And 222, let's see. I think this goes 220. Yeah, 220. Let's see. Yeah, 222, which is actually this is actually Lee Wein's last issue for the book. Yeah, his last issue. And it's mostly Hulk in a cave. Yeah. I don't have any idea why. Yeah, and then, by the way, in the case of, like, we have got appearance by Stingray in issue 221. Stingray appeared in Tales of 95, became Stingray in, well, issue 19. Yeah. And you're probably thinking, what the heck is basically him doing there? I have no idea. It's basically he just appeared there after wrapping up his time in Submariner. Yep, that's pretty much it for this one here. It's an interesting set of issues. Final thoughts on Lee Wein's run on the Hulk. Writing Incredible Hulk. It is surprising this guy never wrote this character ever again. Yeah, and I was looking up basically his biography here. He never wrote the Hulk ever again after this. You're thinking, wait, what about in Defenders? No, he actually up in 1978, so... Yeah, it appeared at that point, he just stopped appearing at Marvel for a while. Popped up again in the 90s for a handful of books, and that's mostly been it for him. Yeah, he never wrote the Hulk ever again. I'm not sure exactly why he never wrote the Hulk ever again. It's kind of weird. I'm going to give the book a rating of a 9.5 out of 10. Next up we have is Marvel Masterworks The Avengers Volume 18, which collects some issues of Avengers. We have Avengers issues 170, 180, and annuals 8 and 9. This book covers the time period of December 1978 and concludes in October of 1978. Basically, the book bookended by annuals. Yes, your writer for a majority of the 7 here is Dave Michelini, who does 181 to 187. The 8th annual was done by Roger Stifler. Steve Gerber does 178, 179, and 180 is Tom Falco. Mark Greenwald does 185, 187, does Dave Michelini, with Stephen Grant as well. Bill Mantle does 188 in the 9th annual. Jim Shooter does 188. John Byrne is your main artist for issues 180, 188. George Perez does the 8th annual. Carmen Fantino does issue 178. 179, 180 is Jim Mooney, and Don Newton does the annual. Now, mostly put in the case of the annual they have in here first, it is mostly put basically just, well, a guest appearance here by Doctor Strange, Sundar, and the Ms. Marvel. This is, of course, Carol Danvers. It is mostly put basically just, oh, by the way, we have this weird thing here when Yellowjacket takes off his costume. So apparently the black thing part of his outfit, it is separate from his outfit. Because look at this. You see him taking off that part of his attire. Like, I get the mask is separate, but the black part too? That's interesting. Yeah, mostly put basically just Dr. Spectre pop up for, it's basically the Avengers versus Dr. Spectre for this annual. Which is interesting. Do they find a scratch in this book? Not really. Actually, they do. Well, some anyways, yeah, but not Nighthawk. And then we move on to 178, Night of the Beast. Now, these set of issues are quite cool. I love this era for this book. Yeah, 178 is focused on the Beast, a debut of a character known as the Manipulator, who only appeared 3 times. He appeared in this issue and a couple issues of Captain America, and that was it for him. Yeah. 179 mostly put it just the Avengers versus a guy called Stinger, Pigeon, and Monolith. You're thinking, Monolith. Yeah, it's some random monsters. Like, okay, so we have 2 interesting issues art so far. You think, okay, where's the cool stuff? Well, Blockhawk gets killed off in this. The other character called Blockhawk gets killed off in this issue. Yeah, after like 2 appearances, like, okay, so we start slow, and now we finally get some more interesting stuff. In 181, this issue is noteworthy for the debut of Scott Lang, and also where the lineup changes because of Hank-Peter Garrick. Now, the Guardians of the Galaxy are in this issue. Now you're thinking, Guardians of the Galaxy means Star-Lord, Raccoon. No, not that group. The original Guardians. Starhawk, Yondu, Major Victory, that group. Yeah, this is a guest appearance by them. And we get a brand new lineup comprised of Iron Man, Captain America, let's see, Beast, who actually joins the roster this issue, Scarlet Witch, Vision, and the Wasp. And apparently, and this is quite interesting, they go to Hawkeye and it says, and Falcon. Hawkeye is like, what? I'm an Avenger. He's not. Yeah, basically, Hank-Peter Garrick forced Falcon the Avenger for reasons unexplained. And weird stuff happens, of course, in this issue. This whole issue starts off the Yesterday Saga, which is kind of, in a way, set up for a possible backstory for Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Well, first you have Quicksilver collapsing, and then his sister collapses because this weird guy steals their souls. Yes. And this Whitebeard figure here, his name is Diego Maximoff. And this guy claimed to be basically Pietro's father. But not really. It's basically his niece and nephew. Yeah. Natalia Maximoff is basically, well, is basically his sister, basically, who, yeah. And Hank-Peter Garrick, he shows how much of a complete dick he is in this issue by forcing a guy who had nothing to do with the Avengers to join the team. Oh, by the way, he's in a good chunk of these issues. He does skip 1 issue here, which we'll get to that. And then basically so the Guardians basically go Back to the Future, and then basically we have Quicksilver, Hawkeye, basically all the Avengers. And of course, we deal with other stuff here, a hallucination of Toad, Princess Python, and Nighthawk. Yeah, this is part of the Yesterday Saga. And of course, get more people part of it. And of course, fighting the Absorbman for a couple issues, where this is when also Scarlet Witch leaves the team, and also Carol Danvers joins the roster. Yes, and this is weird thing where she did not like remove your claw from my wrist, and Peter Girl's like, what's the problem? He wants a fingerprint. Like, we have to. It's standard procedure. And turns like him say, why don't you use a retinal scanner? He's like, fine. Okay. Bring a voice recorder too. It's like basically gets a big headache. I mean, like, here's the weird thing though. Carol Danvers, this is the issue she joins the Avengers. Yes. As for why, I have no idea why. Yeah. And here's the weird thing though. She had just previously appeared in the Marvel 2-in-1 book, which came out like just the previous month. And here she is joining the book. And at 184, we finally have Falcon join the team. Activating the Absorbman, who's here for 2 issues. He next appears in, well, after this very issue here. That's like it says, Marvel Presents in 160. His next appearance is actually in, and this is after issue 184. His next appearance is actually in issue, he goes back to Thor for an issue, then Daredevil, then Incredible Hulk, and fights Dazzler for some issues, and participates in Secret Wars. Yeah, and Hawkeye is still technically part of the team in a way, and now we get to the Yesterday quest here. See, Quicksilver's held captive, but here's kind of the weird thing. Panic Peter Gyrick does not want Avengers to go because Quicksilver is not an Avenger. Then, of course, basically is like, because the fact Cap doesn't like the fact he interferes with their affairs, he puts a phone call in to, like, so they can go over there. Who does he call? The President. And he was like, yes, can I help you? Who would think? Oh, yes, Mr. President. I'll send him over there right away. For Kubultura, Bulgaria. Yes. So that's their excuse to go overseas. So they can rescue Pietro and deal with the whole stuff. There's also the High Evolutionary as well, because for some weird reason, some writers like to have it where Quicksilver's Witch are loosely connected to the High Evolutionary, and the Recommender kind of basically did some weird thing with it here later. And of course, at one point we have Cthulhu basically possessing Scarlet Witch, and of course fighting Mordred the Mystic. Yes, this is weird. Mordred the Mystic. Yeah, I'm not sure why the heck they haven't appeared in this book for. It is weird. Yeah, and get this. He had previously appeared in the first issue of Spider-Woman. Yes. And during these issues, after they basically defeat Mordred the Mystic, they basically, well, Diego Maximoff, who's Pietro's uncle, after Mordred gets defeated here, issue 187, next pop up in Marvel 2-1. Yeah, we have, get this, we have Beast reading from the Darkhold, and Wanda's like, no, don't read that. Puts away, we deal with elements of Doom here, and then dealing with basically the Ninth Annual, which deals with Return of Arsenal. Yes, who last appeared back in issue of Iron Man. Yep. And then after this art issue here, he pops up in the pages of Incredible Hulk. Yeah, and this is on my Bill Mansell. Yep. And this of issues is awesome. I love these issues. I'm going to get this book a 10 out of 10. It's really good. Okay, so that's a particular review, and that's it for videos tonight. So stay tuned for tomorrow for more videos. Okay, next video.